Okay,
We have 1 minute there.
sorry. I was just trying to get this set up.
She's next door. Safer meeting. She hasn't figured out that two places in 1 second yet.
You got this microphone up there? They work pretty good. I think they're good because there's no wire around here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 4:30 PM. I'll call meeting to order. Monday, July 13, 2026 at 4:30 PM in the boardroom at the Weston Municipal Center, 4747 Campbell's Road. Please rise for pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome and introduction to our guests, acknowledgement of our guests. Do we have anybody on Zoom?
Tanya Westfall with Clark Dietz is online, otherwise nobody else.
Okay, so she's on the agenda,
No,
or just a guest?
just a guess.
Okay. Item 4, roll call, please.
Segami,
Yep.
Lobster,
Here.
Hubbard,
Here.
Mumper,
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
Okay. Item 5, public comment. Anybody on the Zoom, public comment? Okay. Item 6, approval of 6/8/26 Public Works and Utility Committee meetings. Minutes.
Move to approve the minutes from 6/8/26.
Well, second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, I have it. Item 7, acknowledge June 2026 water and sewer permit.
Move to acknowledge.
There's a second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it. The staff report, item 8, CIP update. Michael?
Let's see. Weston Avenue, they did pave in some of those patches. I did have some discussions with American Asphalt, Thursday or Friday last week. I think there's still 2 that need to be looked at. They just ride still a little rough. So we'll work on getting those taken care of. And then there's 2 hydrants that are still found to be inoperable that will be repaired. So still just kind of wrapping that up. On Schofield Ave, I think there's still a couple specialty pavement markings that are yet to be completed. The long lines and some of the crosswalks and arrows have been put in, but not all of them. The manholes, kind of the reshaping of the asphalt around those was done. And I think for the most part, it's probably as good as it gets everything back into tolerances of what we allow on a street. So I think it rides pretty well compared to what it was when spring started here. And there's a couple of concrete issues that will still be addressed here in the next coming weeks. Alderson Street and Jelnik concrete work is gonna get started this week. So if weather cooperates and all holds out, we should be looking at having that intersection open around that first week of August. So hopefully a couple weeks before school starts here. Bladel, contractor still seems to be on schedule. Water main and sanitary sewer are in from Pine Park Street through the Cherry Street intersection. is kind of about maybe about 2/3 of the project length. So they'll be coming back doing some storm sewer and then laterals through that stretch. Their current schedule has them finishing in early October, so I guess that's still tracking to be on schedule.
Who's his foreman
Who's the foreman?
at the, wait, oh, yeah, that's a Malvern, right?
Correct, yeah.
Is he the same guy as last year?
It is a different person than last year.
So that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
He's all right? Experienced guy or just,
Seems to be better than where we're at. We've worked through a few initial issues and I think we got everybody on the right page.
okay? Did you tell him don't change anything on the plan?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. No. Then other projects are just kind of in various stages of design here. For the board meeting on Monday, we'll have the real estate offers for purchasing right away on the Ross Ave project between Alderson and Metro Drive to get approved, and then we can start getting those offers and negotiations done for that project, which is scheduled for next year. Let's see. The DOT is currently reviewing the Business 51 storm pond modeling. Sounds like they're going through their internal discussions, so we told them we kind of need an answer around the end of the month to see what their commitment level is to being a partner on that project. It does show that they have a fair amount of phosphorus removal that would benefit the state highway system. So
Well, how much they contribute?
I think it's about 15%
Oh.
of that total volume that would be treated by that pond.
You go with the volume of water.
Yeah,
So what's the dollar wise?
well, 15% of, say, a $3 million project,
2 million? Was it
it's
2
probably
million?
about 450,000.
But they got a bigger pocket, so I think they should go in the rest of it.
Well, when we initially asked them for their 800,000, they said no, so I guess anything we can get out of them is, I think, a benefit.
Yep.
The bike and pet plan was presented at Parks last month. We got some DOT feedback too that we'll be modifying for, I believe, Village Board for next week. And then Concord and Bayberry's on the agenda. We did have a bid opening last week, Friday, on that. There's one item left to get finished for the well 4 project before we can clean that up. That's to get the final training for the overhead fill. And the treatment plant iron manganese project is moving. Working on getting exterior walls put up here and be looking to get the iron manganese tanks set shortly because they want to lift those in with the crane before they put the roof on. So
Which well is that?
so that's for wells 3 and 4. So well 3, it would treat the iron manganese from well 3. So everything's at the treatment plant over on Sternberg.
I think these are great improvement
Yeah.
for water quality.
Yep.
Okay,
So I guess the rest is some of the subdivisions are ongoing and be talking about upcoming stuff later on the agenda.
okay, we don't have to take any action in here. Any question for Michael? No?
What happened with Rothschild? They just don't have the money.
For Bellwood? Based on what was presented to their village board, they had, it looked like thoughts to take money from the Bellwood project. It looked like they had another project with Cronin-Wetter where Cronin-Wetter, I don't believe was able to move forward with that project this year. So then they were looking at repaving the road by Stony Creek and what was the Holiday Inn. So Eagles Nest Boulevard, I believe. So they're looking to just reallocate some of their funds to repave a different road within their community.
Because we pretty much are being helped. gonna be hostage on that whenever they decide to go, we gotta go with them,
Yeah.
right?
So I guess would be the one benefit is they said they'd be looking to do it then next year. So we can rebid the project, this winter, so we'd have a better timeline, I guess, and now that we have plans and permits and all that fun stuff approved. Shouldn't say it's easy, but it's, a quicker process to get a bid out there, for next year, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Item 9 is street operation updates.
Yes, we started the first rounds of rural ditch mowing and throughout the village and town. We also do the right of way mowing that's been done multiple times along Schofield Avenue, Camp Phillips, different corridors like that. Them are the smaller machines, the front mounted mowers. We also got some shouldering done along the village. And during this operation, it consists of the whole crew, which is 4 dump trucks, 3 loaders, 1 operator on the shoulder machine and an operator on the rubber tire compactor. And we'll also be doing more shouldering as the overlays are performed throughout the summer.
So how much shouldering did they do?
Then Shorty Avenue
All the way from where to where?
from Camp Phillips to the new pavement on Anastasia.
It took them how long, a day,
About a day and a half to finish
day
everything.
and a half?
Yes,
How many people?
everybody except for the 2 mechanics.
8.
8, yeah.
Good job.
We're also starting our excavation on Shirley Street. They're stripping blacktop before they remove the clay organic material that's in the subgrade. Cut it down to a good sandy soil. We are putting back sand that we have from the village's projects, mainly from the project that came off of Rogan with the storm pond. Replacing that with around 2 feet of fill and someplace a little deeper, so we go 3 feet of the sand fill and then the 12 inches of recycled base. And which is all layers are compacted with a Bowmaker vibratory roller. And this project is about 1,300 feet. They're roughly, after 2 weeks on it, we got roughly about 300 feet to go. We also did a milling along the village roads, mainly Alderson on the southern part of the village. There's mill and fill, the lane wedging operation. That we had it milled out, we sweep it, and spray with tack, and rake out the surface material through. Norcon finish the repairs on Schofield Avenue during the month. They're
They're done 100%?
done, yes.
Still have some cornering.
They got to pick up their traffic control. They repaired close to 200 panels that were failing that we had marked up prior to the bidding this job. That stretches from Esker to Teagan Street. Norcon also did the bridge deck repair on Ross Avenue on the Eau Claire River crossing. The concrete is failing underneath, meaning that there's moisture gets trapped underneath and pops that seal, the epoxy coating. They got the job done in 2 days, which they said they were due, and they had a very good traffic control setup for that project.
So that repair was done year before last year?
Correct. These repairs are going around the other repairs.
Is
The
different.
ones they did last year,
They repaired that multiple times, right? I mean,
correct. And it just keeps failing beyond where they repaired it.
So Michael, you suggest maybe it's the time to redo the deck?
Yeah.
Project.
You're gonna have to redo the bridge.
Yeah, so that's part of item 14.
Okay. I can't wait. All right, how long this repair gonna last for us? Another year or two, maybe?
These repairs will hold up and it's just gonna keep breaking off beyond them.
So how much was this one?
This repair, we did not get $1 billion, I believe, on that.
Yeah, I think
They
there's
quoted,
like Was it 8,000,
It was like
9,000?
8 or 9,000. They used last year's rate for the material and time. But once they started work on this, it started getting to be a little bit more, so that the price is gonna go
Yeah,
up.
sure.
They found more problems that they had to
Yeah.
repair.
That's just rusting and it's failing and it's going to fail every year, right? I mean,
Right, right.
it's just a question of how badly.
The deck is getting pretty hollow sounding when they test it. So it's,
Okay.
we also have, Mitch King and Sons starting their crushing operation down at Orion Street site. The inch and a quarter gravel will be used on the village's projects, here on Bayberry, Concord, the roundabout, and then we are also using it on our street projects, Shirley Street. Got a list of the roads that it'll all be used on. Then we also have PGA down there excavating and setting up to screen our topsoil project. Quantities estimated to be for our contract projects are 6,000 yards. So we are screening 7,000 because of, we'll have the screening soil for ourselves as well for doing our projects that we have to do any ditching and stuff like that.
What's the size of that screen?
It is, the sieve comes out to be, nothing can pass up to 5/8.
So still gonna have some pig gravel there.
It's real small, yeah, that will go through.
And then how many cubic yards is doing?
7,000 total.
7,000?
Yes, correct. About 6 of it's gonna be used on the contracted work from Bayberry, Concord, and the roundabout. They'll be using our topsoil for that too.
Then who's gonna do those branches?
Kafka, Kafka Granite does that, the grinding.
Yeah,
They are behind this year. I've been in contact with them. They'll hopefully be coming in by the end of the month.
it's overflowing.
It's getting, yes, yep, and we're falling, they fell behind with all the storm damages
Yeah,
throughout the state, so they're pretty hamstrung right now too, so
okay, they're coming end of the month.
hopefully, yes, that's what
2
it,
weeks, maybe.
correct.
3 weeks. Yeah.
And then for the shop work, pictured left or right, service the tracked excavator, before it went out to the job site on Shirley. We also got a fabricated tack sprayer. Now we have our own, so we don't have to rent one. Started servicing the bleed backs. The picture that you see there is getting a new impeller, liner, and impeller bearings, typical wear parts on the machines. Unit 259, they fabricated the headache rack, the roof light bar, installed strobe lights, and mud flaps and storage bin inside the bed. 7 and 8, assigned 3-digit numbers to all excavator skid steer attachments, loader attachments, welded identification numbers onto each attachment to improve asset tracking and accountability. Excuse me. Photographs and each attachment recorded serial numbers and created individual equipment files for documentation and record keeping. Developed an inventory spreadsheet identifying parts, numbers, and quantities for wear items, including bucket teeth, cutting edges. Conducted a complete inventory of wear parts and labeled them to improve organization and efficiency. The work that is not pictured, Unit 23, the wheeled excavator got a service and checked over. Unit 404, the tool cat, complete gearbox repair. Unit 90, quad axle dump truck service, looked over, replaced rear U-joints and rear brakes. Unit 111, the bucket truck annual aerial lift inspection. The work is completed by Walter Inc. Unit 32, front end loader, repaired the broom control issues. Service, maintenance, and upkeep of mowing equipment. The unit number 1 utility van was serviced and checked over. Unit 201 sign truck shop, serviced and checked over. And that's it for the shop update.
And I guess just one more thing for streets, I did Farner Asphalt is in town working on the crack sealing. And then they've postponed the chip sealing of the roundabout in Sandy Lane. Looks like maybe until the end of the month, just with the heat and humidity. They weren't comfortable doing it this week because they weren't confident that we'd get a good product and they'd end up having to redo it. So they're
What is it, yeah, at this temperature?
yeah, so they're pausing because they're having to scramble. It sounded like this week in Rothschild, and I think he said Cronenwater because they're having a bunch of bleeding coming through from streets they did over the last week or two. So
Question? Okay. Item 10, thank you. Utility operation update? Josh?
Yeah, June was a busy month for our operators. A lot of our projects had
Let me ask
many.
you this, Josh. How much water are we flashing out from the hydrant?
At every hydrant?
Total?
I mean, it's total, I think last year was 12 million gallons. Prior year, maybe 15, I think. I mean, so last year was more because I think there was with some of our PFAS and treatment plants, we were down some wells, so we didn't get to do kind of our full unidirectional flushing program. So when we got back into that, I mean, it's all based, like we just don't open hydrants and let it spill out for 10 minutes and then we shut it. Our guys have turbidity checks that it has to get down to a certain NTU and it's based on the size of the diameter of pipe to make sure we get the right velocity to scour the interior of the pipe. So if we're doing a 6-inch, it could be quick. If they're doing a long run, a 12-inch, it could take, I mean, half hour, 45 minutes to get down to what we want to get to. So, I mean, it's kind of, it ranges. I know sometimes people call and say, you're just leaving it blow water off in excess. Well, there's a method to the madness that if we're going to do it, we want to do it to meet what the program is that we had implemented.
So what's the purpose of it? To get all the sediment out of the pipe?
To get the sediment and to get to some of the manganese that gets trapped to the inner walls. So then that's why sometimes we try to tell people don't use your water if we're in that, upcoming or currently flushing area, because, we are scouring the interior of that pipe to try to make it so it's not closing up on some of our older areas. Sometimes you remove it, there's quite a bit of buildup. So we're trying to minimize any of that happening when we get new main put in or whatever else. We want to keep that diameter as open as we can, so there's nothing impeding the flow. So it can range. I guess I haven't asked the guys where we're at with the number tracking yet, but
Do they track that? How many?
yeah, we have based on the size of the main and the time that it takes, then we can calculate it to. I mean, it's an approximate. I mean, it could range between a few 100,000 gallons, but it's kind of when you start it, when you feel that you hit your proper NTU to call it good and move on to the next one. So it's not perfect science, but it's, I think it does a good job to make sure. And with the size of our system, we may have to start possibly looking at a spring and fall flush, but then, we might have flushing from when the snow leaves to when the snow comes back. So, but it is time consuming. We have 2 guys dedicated to it basically when we start to when we finish. One guy's always sitting there while one hydrant's blowing off and another guy might go do some diggers tickets or something like that. And then they'll shut down and get the next sequence set up for what valves we got to shut off.
So it take what, 3-4 weeks?
No, it takes about
probably about 12.
10 to 12 weeks now.
3-4 months.
Yeah.
So the 12 weeks you do the whole village?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So last year, I think we didn't even get started. And I think we were wrapping up in, late September, I think even into October, because we got such a late start with some of our wells that were down with some of our permanent PFAS treatment plant coming up. We wanted to get that back online in well 7 and 8. So I know we got later in the year last year. So hopefully we'll wrap up. I think we're right now over, I think they were down on Alderson, kind of by Radke-ish area right now. So we'll keep heading that way towards the west side.
It's something that needs to get, I've worked in communities that don't.
Yeah.
You'll have an 8-inch pipe and you'll literally have 4 inches of flow going through
Yeah.
it. They don't do it. And it's,
And I mean, there's times they'll be hitting it and they think they're gonna be done and then, something breaks loose and then the turbidity goes up again and then they kind of let it go for a little bit longer. And they constantly have a little sample bottle that they keep taking checks to see what that turbidity is.
So he does sample it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have just a field tester that they can go and
Just a
check.
field test, okay.
Yeah.
Great, okay, thank
So
you.
I don't even know how many weeks we have left probably. Yeah. Guess I don't know if I want to get into it, but it's a tricky situation because we do have the ability for everyone to see where we are and what's upcoming. But not every, you'll tell us, well, we have access online. I don't mess with online stuff. I need to know when it's going to affect me. So we try to make notes to make sure we can get back. I know I need to talk to a resident that we're going to be in his neighborhood maybe tomorrow, but it's for those who don't jump online with, everyday access. Sometimes we try to make notes to inform people of when we might be in their area. It's not always, we don't always hit everybody, but.
I think at the South Timber Street used to be a deadline. The water pipe was stopped there.
Sure.
And my neighbor went to come to the meeting and she said she opened the water to take a shower. It was all black.
In her house?
Yeah. Yeah. That was Versmack. She was right, because when it built up in that pipe,
Yeah.
you could just see it coming through the system, so. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to do that, what you're doing.
Yeah, so this is our online that, all the residents can jump on. It's on the homepage of our website. We send it out with we send it out to all the residents, a few weeks leading up to our flushing date to let them know they can jump on and take a look at it. I think we included it in our CCR postcard maybe as well, so we try to make sure that it's on the forefront of everybody's mind if they get any of our publications and jump on the website to make sure it's there. But I live in Croninwater where they say we're going to be on your street on this week. So that's when they're going to be there, but they don't kind of do the process like we do where they actually take a sample to make sure you're doing something. It's just kind of moving the water through the system to kind of turn over any kind of stagnant portions of their system. So this is really trying to keep the interior of the mains clear as we can.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We lose a lot of water, 15 million gallons, that's a lot of water. But at the same time, if you don't do it, we're not gonna get the good quality water coming from
Yeah,
the system.
yeah. And and to your point about some of our kind of dead end mains or some of the areas that don't get as much turnover, we've looked into, some flushing options. There's there's hydrants that just automatically will flush sometimes if they're on a dead end main, which it's extra dollars. So it's something to maybe, it's on a wish list at some point if we ever get around to that, so.
Okay,
Or if you remember when we redid that neighborhood on South Timber, we looped the water main, so now we got rid of the dead ends.
right, we don't have it there, you're right, yeah, that improved significantly. Improved the water pressure, improved water quality, everything. Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, no worries. But yeah, June, so a lot of our projects were very utility heavy. So our guys had a lot of requests to help out over on our Bladel reconstruction, the roundabout, Military Avenue over in Rothschild. A lot of work over at the treatment plant, just kind of helping out with, there's a lot of movement within the treatment plant. So we've had to kind of move our chemicals and locations and whatnot in there as the work is progressing. We had some miscellaneous well maintenance items. Our well 2 Cary well is rehabbed and back online. With that, we had a chlorine replacement line over there, a repair of a scale over at the treatment plant. So we got, well 7-8, there was a failure and some maintenance, so some general stuff. We did do a valve replacement over on East Jelnik Von Kennel. I do need to follow up on the patch that's over there. I already touched on our unidirectional water main flushings continuing. It's over near Alderson, Radke over there. And we did have continuous lateral inspections are coming in. I included one kind of with my annual or my monthly report. We always have something in there. valve exercising kind of continues as we're going through the village with our our flushing program. We had a couple hydrant repairs on Birch Windsor, Camp Phillips and Ross. Continue with some of our private well sampling. On the sewer side of things, a couple miscellaneous sewer items as well, some troubleshooting of some VFDs. We did have to pull a pump. That's the bright green looking picture on there. That's Operator Dave wanted to make sure I included that to show the strength of the underwear that clogged that pipe there, or the one pump. So it's, we'll probably get our notices out to please don't flush anything that's not supposed to be flushed. We did also pull one at Tanya Trisha. I think that was more of a grease issue. We're also, along with our unidirectional water main flushing, we also have, 2 dedicated guys basically every day going out to do our sanitary sewer main jetting operations. I think I actually included a picture of our televising, so it's not really.
What's a manhole?
It's a manhole.
But then, so here's areas where infiltration of the manholes gets
Yep.
noted, kind of where the brown sediment is kind of sand that would be washing in, so we note that, and then those are the ones then that we queue up for getting lined so that that infiltration is no more, so. When we talk about the clear water discharges and some of those times during that spring snow melt or heavy rain events. Besides some pumps, this is a lot of times where it comes in is just manholes that have kind of lost their ability to keep the water out of the ground.
So I kind of included that one because it is kind of, I did get word after I finished this report, so that not IT pipes, who are they? Not I. Who's the in-pipe?
Hip pipe, yeah.
Sorry. In-pipe technologies will be out here at the end of the month to kind of start our I&I study that's going to be happening up in the annexed area up by Wall Street in that area. So that's kind of to help also understand some of this, where we're going to get a project together as well to what we call rehab some of these kind of manholes here that do have this infiltration that they go in there, kind of spray everything down. They can rebuild the benches if there's damage to it. Then they do put a sealant around it, depending on how bad it is. It's, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick, that they'll actually seal the interior of those manholes to kind of bring them back to life to limit some of that infiltration as well. So hopefully next month we'll have maybe a project to award for some manhole rehabs. What else we got? There's some general cleaning of bad spots. Our lift station cleaning was wrapped up before we started our sanitary sewer jetting for the year. Then we're just kind of onto our diggers tickets. Those are a lot of work orders. Contract work, I think Michael touched on most of that. Valve exercising, water main flushing. Then customers added is there. Then we just have kind of our numbers for our water pumped for the last 4 months, our wastewater flows over those 4 months, and then kind of our lift station hours. And that's all I have.
That it?
That's it.
Question for Josh? Go ahead.
I was just gonna add one thing too. We did get word from one of our utility operators this morning that he's going to be leaving us, so we'll be down from our 5 operators back down to 4 for a little time being here. So be getting a job ad out shortly to try to get a 5th person back here.
Why he's leaving? Better job.
In his head, yes, it's a different opportunity, and I guess it's an opportunity to try something.
Okay, sure.
I have to ask, in the SCADA system, there's no further updates, everything's done. Finished?
Yes, yeah. I mean, yes, it's done, finished. There's some, some tweaks we always have to do. And it's like anything with technology. It seems like everything's just going fine, and then there's some random alarm that you don't know how to turn it off because it's not on the screen. It's not alarming at the site, but it's on our SCADA system. So it's one button's clicked that's not showing an already acknowledged alarm or something. So there's still these little hiccups that we can find, but that's not to do with anything in the project. So it's just still kind of some fine tuning of some of the interface type stuff.
And are we happy with it now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess happy is, talk to our operators. I mean, I don't know if happy is the word, but it's nice to be able to come in and you can see the overlay. I mean, I love it because right outside my office, I can see what pumps are running, what alarms are going off. So, our guys have that ability right on their tablets too. So it is nice to just see the overall footprint of the village with all of our wells and lift stations and what's kind of happening in real time instead of having to kind of remote in and then, pick and choose what might be happening. So it is nice to see the overall.
And then we did have I guess we put together a list of I guess the new wish list now that we're like, okay, we're done with SCADA project. Now, what are the other little, it's kind of one of those things, you get a new toy and also it's like, ooh, can it also do this? And can it do that? So I had the guys put together kind of their wish list of what else would you like it to do now that we have this up and running. So
It's just the first time in years I haven't seen the update.
Well, it is good, it's what, like Michael said, it's like, well, can we get temperatures of the towers in here? Can we, a lot of this stuff is just, if we ask, we shall receive. So it's just understanding the questions to ask and see what we can get. So
Thank you.
may receive, asking you may receive. I don't know if we.
All right. Policy discussion and recommendation, item 11, Holland Avenue surveying, service code.
uh-oh.
Michael?
Yeah, my screen went blank here. Let's see if it recovered. Oh, hey, we recovered. I'm told I have a computer on the way. I can't wait because this thing will start sounding like a jet ready to take off, and then it just kind of goes black on me. So
So I suppose you jumped ahead of me now, huh?
sorry, you have this one. Right.
See how this works.
So Holland Ave, we have as a 2027 reconstruction project. So try to get the surveying done now here in the summer months so that we can get started on design work in the fall. So we did send out an RFP for surveying services. We received proposals from 4 firms, which are below. I guess if we go strictly on cost, point of beginning is the low firm at 12,500, and kind of indicated once they received a signed contract, they would have the work done in kind of a 4 to 5 week time period. Vreeland Associates had the shortest schedule of 3 weeks. I guess kind of talking with Ike about it, we're not real concerned about schedule. So if we're looking at just cost, we're good with going with point of beginning. Everybody's kind of in the same ballpark there. And, they'd all be getting us the same files for topo and elevations, depth of manholes, water valves, essentially everything we need to put the design together. So that's just.
He's from Stevens Point, isn't he? Point of beginning.
Correct, yeah.
Have you worked here in the room?
Yeah, they've done, I guess, other surveying as a sub-consultant to other firms. Even some of the contractors, they'll hire a surveying firm to load the CAD model in and kind of set points for them so they can use the GPS assisted equipment. So I know Point of Beginning's done that too for some of the local contractors.
What's your wishes?
I'll make a motion to award the Howland Avenue surveying project to Point of Beginning based on their quote of $12,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it, thank you. Item 12, my favorite, street light installation discussion.
Right.
Michael, is all yours, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I guess we've had this on the agenda for a while, and I guess I've always said, just looking for some guidance here. I mean, we've got areas of the village that I think are lit well. There's other areas that we probably could light better. And historically, if a resident's come in and said, I think there should be a street light at this intersection. We've looked at it and we generally have approved, 2 or 3 lights a year. Uh, most recently it was probably Weston Ave and County Road J. We put one in. It was part of the Weston Ave project because that didn't have a light previously. I think we put one in by Quick Trip on Schofield Ave, out east, further towards like Zinzer Street, where that the Mountain Bay or the not motorcycle, snowmobile crossing is. Um, we've had other residential neighborhoods where they've asked for lights, so we've kind of taken that as a case by case basis as residents have come in. This is so every red dot is an existing street light in the village of Weston here. The yellow are intersections in the village that currently do not have streetlights, and then the green would be a bend in the road that would, I guess, kind of match our policy for where we'd want to add a streetlight. And then, we do have the corridors like Schofield Ave or around the hospital, the business park, Barbican, Community Center Drive, where we have continuous roadway lighting. But that's kind of more based on the adjacent development more so than, I guess, in general. Our policy states in general, we would put one at intersections, on dead ends, at bends in the road, or I believe it's every 10th mile on the roadway. So if we just followed that minimum requirement, we'd still have about 121 lights to put in, which the upfront cost that we'd pay WPS would probably be around 250,000. And then the annual increase to our operating budget would be about 33,000 with current rates. So every year, street lighting, I believe, is about 8% of our operations budget. So it's not nothing, I guess. But if there are corridors that we have a strong feeling about, or areas that we think we need to light more, I know I heard Ross Avenue before the meeting. So if there's spots, through here where we want to update it, I guess just tell me where and we can get started on that.
On Ross Avenue, one side is the river, and most of the air come from that side. So if you're going east, you're on the eastbound, you don't see the deer because it's farther away from you and it's coming toward the road. My wife had an accident in there. When I said, "What you do?" She said, "The deer had." I said, "You hit the deer." I said, "No, I didn't see him coming." So, and she's not the only one. I'm sure there's other people. That's what I know. But I think we should light up this area.
Where on Ross Avenue are you talking?
On Ross Avenue.
Yeah. By,
This was before you get to Mesker. See, Ross Avenue running parallel to the Eau Claire River somehow. So most of the deer come up from the river. And when they cross the Ross Avenue, you usually don't see them until they step on the road or they're halfway there. Because it's dark. I mean, we don't have that many lights on Ross Avenue anyway, right at the intersection probably. So I think we have to do some improvement to decrease this and not to have those accidents. Yes, it's going to increase the cost, but at the same time, what are we looking? Looking at the safety, or we're looking at the cost?
Yeah, so this is, I tried to zoom in on Ross here. So Camp Phillips Road's on the far left side of the screen, and then Mesker Street is here. So it looks like right now we got where Abbott's and South Timber are. There's 2 lights fairly close to each other, and then we have nothing. And then at Corzala, it looks like maybe 2 mid blocks there. So I guess, is the thought we'd want to add another one between this light and Mesker, and something more between camp, along the elementary school.
Ross Avenue is a busy road.
Yeah.
I guess if you're gonna do it, I would just space them and just do the whole from Camp Phillips all the way to.
I mean, just go up to the river, or
Yep.
I can talk to WPS on getting a quote, for how many lights, is that, 1, 2, maybe 4 more through there or something?
Well, just do some layout and then
Yeah.
illumination, and then based on that, we can see how many we got in there.
Sure.
I don't think we should wait for the people to come and complain to us. We should be proactive and every year at some place, pick up a section which is more traffic there and people walking there, people using it there, and there is need for it, then we can put them in there.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for people to come and complain about it.
I don't think we should just put them in every intersection in, these
Yeah.
smaller neighborhoods, either where there isn't a lot
You
of
gotta do a
traffic.
study. I mean,
Right,
I'm
well,
not
and
saying just go ahead, put them in there.
Right, but if
Study
you
it,
put one
take
in and then you have 9 out of the 10 residents call and complain, that's, I wouldn't personally want one in front of my house, when there's no
You want
curb and
to?
gutter, sidewalk or anything.
You want to?
I do not want any, to be quite honest with you, but I get it on Ross, you busier traffic areas. I definitely, I agree.
I understand.
I definitely agree with that.
But we gotta take a look at the safety of people living in the village. There are some area, high traffic, it needed.
Right.
So, and there's some area we can get by, but as I said, we have to be proactive. I don't like the resident coming there, sit down and complain because we didn't do this, we don't do that, we don't do. If we pick up a section or look at the area in the village, see what is most reasonable place, and then add those areas.
And in the interest of being proactive, I guess when I read this, one of my thoughts was, had we talked to and Louis could probably speak to this far better than I could, but I said one of the first things I do is we talk to the police department. Those guys drive around at night more than anybody. And they also respond to all the accidents and probably including deer strikes. And they could, I guess my thought would be, go ask them and say, are there areas that you seem to, where this occurs more often than, it might be helpful.
Sure.
Because they probably, like I said, they probably respond to most, if any, accidents, including deer strikes, so.
Yes, they do actually, because then I get the call to come pick up the dead deer.
Yeah.
In that section,
Yep.
in the past month, there's been 5 deer we picked up.
Okay, so I guess that was my thought is they probably have a very good idea, or you probably do to go get the deer, where are we smacking them?
Yep.
It doesn't, you said our cost is 30,000 something in there. If we put LED lighting in there, that shouldn't be that much. It should be decreased.
No, WPS has one rate for a street light, so,
Even with LED lighting,
yeah,
or we can complain. I mean, we should, I think we should complain.
yeah, because they replace every street light now with LED, so if there is still a high pressure sodium out in the system and it goes out, they'll come back and replace it with an LED light, but
So we shouldn't put them on those wooden posts. We should put those Cobra head or something which come all the way maybe to the center of the road. When you hang it properly, and that help a lot also.
yeah, and then, yeah, for what it's worth, there is an extra charge for a longer arm too, but I mean, like Ross, I have here, also we have the pedestrian bicycle path too, so if we're encouraging people to be on the road, probably makes sense to try to give a little better visibility to those people too.
Well, take a look at it, see what you
Yeah.
can, and talk to public service.
I
Is
can
that
do that.
okay, gentlemen?
Yeah, I would like to just, like I said, get some feedback from the police department. And,
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
All I was gonna say is, similarly, I don't wanna see like a blanket policy. I think, some people wouldn't, I'm similar, I wouldn't want a light outside of my house. I kind of like the darkness of my street. But I understand that there's safety concerns. So as staff or citizens or even us are like, man, I just was driving through here and this looks dark, like we can discuss that and kind of look at the cost of that specific issue and discuss it. But yeah, as a blanket rule, I wouldn't be supportive of. But otherwise, I'm supportive of what you're talking about, reaching out and finding.
What's
out.
our limits on our project out here for Camp Phillips Ross and then Alderson Ross? If we build those into projects?
Okay, anything else? No. Okay, item 13, Concord Avenue reconstruction bid results.
Yeah, so all I had in the packet unfortunately was the project was out for bid. We opened the bids on Friday afternoon. Then so we did have four bidders on this project, which I was excited to see. So Haas, Sons, PGA, A1, and Integrity were the four bidders. For the base bid of Concord and Bayberry Avenue, Haas was the low bidder at $2,203,819.90. PGA was about $38,000 higher. And then at 2.241 million. A1 was at 2.36, and then Integrity is 2.567. So I guess so Haas was 2.2, PGA 2.24, A1 2.36, Integrity 2.567. So
You recommend what, Haas?
Haas is the low bidder. We've had, I would say, good work from them. They were the contractor for the Weston Ave and Alderson, Summit Ave roundabout project.
Not Weston.
Weston Ave, the Weston Ave Alderson to Birch section they did.
Okay.
Weston Ave East was Integrity. Haas also had Jelnik Avenue when we did that from the junior high, essentially to Alderson. They're doing the roundabout right now, and they had Schofield Ave last year. So I guess they've been in the area. We've had the same foreman for the last, every job in the village. So seems to be a very proactive person who I think keeps things on schedule and moving. So, looking at the cost, that was a little higher than initially estimated. As I look back, if I would have used the Bladel Ave kind of costs and update the estimate, I was right around 2.1 million. So it's a lot closer to that. Asphalt costs seem to be a little higher than what they were earlier this spring. And concrete was a little higher, but for the most part, everything else checks out to be, kind of as expected with what the market is right now. And then I guess the other question is, we had an alternate in here as kind of a connection sidewalk for the Aspen area. I should have brought that map up. I guess we don't necessarily, so the alternate from Haas is 25,000 to put in that sidewalk between Lamers and Warehousing of Wisconsin. If we don't want to do it right now, that's fine. There's nothing that says we have to, but if we wanted to include it as part of this project, we could.
We own that, we own a.
Yeah, it's currently a utility easement where we have a water and sewer main that run through here. So it would
I
be,
think if we're gonna do it, we should do it, get over with the construction instead of going back again later on and rip the road and black new street, and because we wanna put the sidewalk in there.
yeah, well, we'd still put probably a curb ramp on this side and then just have it end. And then when Bernard and Aspen are also streets with asbestos water main, so when those streets got redone, we'd probably come back and connect it at that point. So it's either something we can do now or wait and redo.
The price is only gonna go up if you're gonna do it.
True.
They're there, might as well just do it, I would think right now. and
Yeah,
Be
I
done
mean,
with
the
it.
price definitely
What's
goes
your
up, you're right.
demobilization costs?
Yeah.
A $25,000 project, you're gonna eat that.
Anything else, Michael?
No, I guess just,
Okay, what's your wishes?
We'll move to award the Concord Avenue and Bayberry Street reconstruction project to Haas Sons, including the additional work for a total price of $2,203,891 plus 25,000. Was it for the addition?
Yeah, so it'd be 2.203,819.90
819, sorry.
Plus-
I have the number in front of me.
plus $25,077.80.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it. Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Yep.
Future item, next meeting, Monday, August 10th, 2026.
You
got number 14.
What was that?
14.
Oh, I did say that 14, didn't I? Okay, future capital improvement project.
Alright. So since I kind of had well, I shouldn't say a small agenda, but not a whole lot of action items. And I'll be missing the August meeting. I was hoping to get a little bit of a jump start on talking about future projects after this year. So we have some of the general projects from 27 to 30. That would be, I guess, some of the what I consider more of the routine neighborhood, reconstructions. We're replacing the pipes, we're improving drainage, we're redoing the roadway. But we do have some, I guess, more specialty projects out there. So the Ross Ave Bridge deck is one. We don't have that listed in our CIP yet, but after especially the maintenance work done this year, I think we need to get started on putting probably out an RFP for a structural analysis and getting a bridge expert out there to really give us a good forecast on what we should be looking at. The bridge was built in 1979, so it's almost 50 years old. At about that 50-year mark, a bridge's life cycle is generally due for a new deck. That can usually take it to about 75 years before it's completely redone. This is a pretty vital crossing of the river for us with how our village lays out. And I guess I think we need to probably bite the bullet sooner than later and figure out what really we're looking at here. Is there an alternate here? Can we try to build a new bridge next to it and not be down for a full summer, or do we have to just say we're gonna have a bridge out for a while and do it that way? So
I think Highway J is gonna get busy.
yeah,
Cause I don't see it all. I mean, I went and looked at that. I stared at it and I just said, I don't even see how you have to take the pedestrian bridge out. And then try and swing that in, and it's right next to the utilities, and then
yeah. So it might not be possible, but I
and
guess
then you're gonna lose your kayak launch.
yeah.
So that whole thing's gone for. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see much. After I looked at it, I said, I just don't see how you're gonna build one next to this, and then it's gonna be backwards for another 50 years, because you really want the bridge where it is, not where the pedestrian. Right?
Well, I guess I would see it
Like
as
a temporary bridge.
yeah. Well, I'd see it as kind of like if you think of the bridge out here on X, especially even like on highways now, like if you get on Highway 29 heading towards Rare Mountain from Business 51, that bridge, these are the travel lanes. Then all of a sudden you've got this wider section over here. So like I think it's right now, or maybe it was last week, traffic was essentially using that portion of the bridge that generally you don't drive on. So, sometimes you could build it wider, and then maybe we end up putting a barrier in there, and then that becomes the pedestrian bridge in the future, but it could carry a car. Right now then you could still have traffic flow over it. As I said, I'm not the expert, but I guess that's where I'd like to have somebody who does this more for a living, look into it and kind of give us their opinion on how that looks, what that needs to be, and if we need to go after bridge aids and some other grant funding for it, we can get started, but we generally need a better number on it.
Tell you that it's shot.
Yeah.
I 5 years ago, the handwriting was on the wall, in my opinion. I mean, it was gonna happen because it was bad back then. It was falling already, and there's no cure for that.
Yeah, so I mean,
And then when you talk about the reconstruction, is there any possibility of doing it half and half?
Well, I guess that's what I'd be trying to, and I guess that's maybe a better way of phrasing what I was trying to get at is, can you pour maybe half a new abutment and get
Okay, yeah,
a lane in there so you can remove maybe a middle section?
because then you'd have the lights on and off or
Yeah,
some kind of traffic control for how long it took, but
So the deck replacement gonna cost us a couple $1,000,000.
probably, yeah.
Well, compare it with the pedestrian bridge over there,
Yeah,
how much that cost us? And then we got the time, which increased the cost.
yeah.
So I think they were, yeah,
It's, how much of what's there is still salvageable, can we still use the abutments or the piers? Is that foundation still good and we're just really looking at a new deck, or is there other items that we need to?
what they have to, you said they have to study it, take a look at it, see if we wanna go that far, or we have to go that far or not.
Yeah,
Because even if it is not DOT, won't let us put the deck in there without looking at the foundation and everything else.
yeah,
I mean, when they just finished doing the work, I mean, I understand they're not structural engineers, they don't have, but what was their opinion? This thing is getting
It's
bad,
getting, yeah,
right?
it's going bad, fast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's time, I think. It needs to happen. It's not an expense anybody wants to absorb, but
yeah,
I think we should go through DOT and then follow the procedure. That's the only way they let you build that bridge anyway. It's not theirs, but they put their two cents in there, and that's what we gotta do.
and my only other comment was, you probably need to go talk again to public safety on this issue too, because this will have a big impact on public safety if that bridge goes down.
yeah,
Just in terms of response time, let alone, and we're not gonna get any kind of emergency vehicles anywhere as fast as you would otherwise.
yeah. So I guess my thought is this fall into 27, we have the kind of analysis and maybe some concept work done and kind of, so I might say, hey, you still got a good 5 to 10 years out of this, and be like, okay, and it might just be, we might need to spend $10,000 a year for the next 5 years, but that would get us through until we have a major failure, or we might have somebody who says, oh boy, you should have done this 5 years ago. And
That's what my concern is.
yeah, I know when we redid the decking, was it in 2020, 2021?
Yeah, when your predecessor was,
Yeah, when Dan was here.
Dan was, at that point in time, we had a lot of talk about it, because it was.
Yeah, and there we did we took care of a lot of the spalling and deficiencies. And I think at that point, they thought that was maybe a good 5 to 10 year fix. So I guess we're probably close to that 5 year. And, so,
Has there been any other new sites looked into?
not for river crossings, no.
Maybe off DJ Lane, huh?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. In our future transportation map, we do show, I think it's Costic Lanes going straight across the river. Just a little east of Ryan Street there, but it's,
How old is the J Bridge?
my understanding is the county's in the process of getting that redone. I thought they were gonna start it already this summer, but they haven't started yet, so.
Because I think we better talk to them also.
Yeah, but no, I'm pretty sure it was this summer they were supposed to be redoing that bridge, and it hasn't been started yet, so,
We discussed that the kayak launch wouldn't be available and
yeah. So, so they should have a brand new bridge there after this year, so.
Because they had utilities or something under the bridge that they've already moved off, so they're prepared to take it out.
Okay,
All right, so that's one big one.
So do we need to have an agenda item then to hire put out proposals for the
I can always
engineer, or?
work on putting an RFP out and,
My only thought is they're probably not doing this in January, right? Like,
they could,
I wouldn't want to.
yeah,
I was just thinking if we're gonna address this, we're probably gonna, if you're going on, like,
Well, yeah, I'd be looking to put it out. I'd
otherwise you're
contact,
gonna be in September, October, and it's already getting past where I
Yeah.
wanna be.
no, I'd get in contact with Kevin Lang with Marathon County. He's the highway commissioner now, and knowing that they just, they're going through the County Road J Bridge, and they have other bridges throughout the county that get replaced almost every year. I'm sure there's a RFP and some other templates we can borrow from him and get out there. So.
So isn't that road designated county SS anymore?
It is not, no. I don't know what year it was, but it was when it was gifted to the village of Weston. It was probably at least 20 years ago. So it's not County Road SS anymore. There might be some old maps, or sometimes Google will pick up on things and still put, just like Schofield Ave isn't County Road JJ, it's just Schofield Ave. I know there's still things out there that every time Google or Apple Maps, one of those will every now and then label it as County Road JJ, but it's not.
I think that those Lynn Lems was the town chairman when they did that.
Yeah, it hasn't been County Road SS since I've been
Yeah.
here.
That was the time we rebuilt the Ross Avenue, first time.
Yeah.
Does anyone else think we should get that RFP out sooner than later? Or at least,
Yeah.
I mean,
For the study or?
for the.
That bridge is gonna take at least 4 or 5 years before we can build.
Mhm.
So if we started and go through the DOT process, and maybe Michael can dig in some money out of him too, I think that helped.
Yeah,
I will talk to them, see if there is any.
yeah, there are bridge aids and other grant programs for bridges, so we'll dive into that.
Okay.
On the water utility side too, then, we talk about PFAS removal. We've been doing the testing a little bit here. Now that there's EPA recommended levels of 4 parts per trillion, both the Bladel well and the Alta Verde well are creeping up into that kind of 4 to 5 parts per trillion mark. So we're thinking long term, those wells are going to be still need to be used, which they do need to be used for our capacity currently. We should be looking at getting that treatment plant at Bladel designed as well. So, and then additionally, there's been some maybe preliminary discussions with some other parties about the northwest corner of Kennedy Park where well 1 currently exists. So I think having a little bit of a design ready to go for that as well for Alta Verde well would be good. So we can get that started. So that'd be kind of the next major water utility project. And, we'd be looking to see if there's still emerging contaminants funding through the safe drinking water loan from the DNR, similar to what we've gotten for wells 3 and 4. So we can get that process started there as well. And then in general, our water and sewer master plans were done in 2017, 2018. Generally, every 10 years, we should be revisiting those just to make sure that we're still on track with what we want to do. PFAS to a certain extent threw us a curveball as we readjusted some of our major projects on the water side to address that. And we kind of deferred the well 1 and 5 work, which we'll be looking to get back to now. But I guess, yeah, just trying to get reset slightly on those large items. The Fox Street lift station is our oldest lift station. It's got a very small wet well. We've had some close encounters this past spring with some pumps not wanting to work or getting plugged with other items. So if those pumps were to all of a sudden fail, our Schofield Ave corridor would be not real happy with us. So we've got some other items in there that I guess are maybe a little more significant than just a traditional, we're replacing a mile of main or replacing some storm sewer moving forward. So I guess that maybe be something in 2027 is getting those water and sewer plans back out there. And just having a second set of eyes, just helping us evaluate those and making sure we're meeting all current, DNR requirements as well.
So you're gonna have budget for all these projects?
Well, as we get through budget season, I guess that's why I'm talking about it now, so I can get it into the budgets for next year.
So well, you put some number in there so we can, our eyes get open.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of where if you guys said, yeah, no, we're good. I think you're doing a fine job. Just keep going. All right. But if you say, yeah, that sounds like something we should be programming in,
Yeah.
then I'll make sure we get probably some better ballpark numbers from some folks and know what number we're looking at.
Anything we have to do for water, we should do it. Because we can't afford not to have good water.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
At least it's my opinion.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree. Water before roundabouts.
Yes. All right, anything else, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with that comment too, I mean, we do have, I guess, generally four main revenue funds that I look through or look at. So our water, our sanitary, our storm utilities are separate from our general tax dollars. So, I can understand the roundabout versus water comment, but it is two different revenue sources. So, at the end of the day, they're not necessarily competing. I guess it all is all money that our taxpayers, our ratepayers are putting out there, and our goal is to not price people out of the community as well. So it's always that balance of doing enough so that we don't get behind, but at the same time not being too overzealous. As we talk, we got the 120 miles of road, we got 100 miles of main. That's the realistic number is probably somewhere around 1.5 to 2 miles a year, just to keep our infrastructure somewhat in good working order. But yeah, after our Business 51 storm pond, we'll kind of be able to reevaluate our phosphorus removals and where we're kind of compliant there as well to see, is there another major project upcoming, or can we kind of let that be for a little while and let the stormwater utility recoup or pay off its debt before we take on another major stormwater project as well. And then our equipment is another thing in there. So I did kind of just throw out some 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. So then that brings me to 2030. I had this Schofield Ave, Birch to County Road X project in there. So on the planning side, we are going through our comprehensive plan currently. And Mark Roffers is the planning consultant that's been hired to do that work. He had reached out to the highway commissioner about plans for the Camp Phillips corridor project, or just any projects that the county sees coming up on County Road X. I guess Kevin just mentioned envisioning a engineering study probably in the 2028, 2029 timeframe for that corridor from essentially Schofield Ave to Highway 29. He's kind of the mindset that there's no way to really reconstruct that corridor as it is within its existing footprint. So we'd either need to look at having additional right-of-way, which would mean more than likely houses getting relocated, or we live with it as is, and about every 8 to 10 years they'd be looking at a 2-inch asphalt overlay, or a mill and fill, and just keep repaving it until we have a bigger corridor, a grander project in mind to go there. So I guess that'll be something to discuss with the county moving forward here as well. I did note it is their highest traffic volume on their county roadway network, and it's nearing capacity. So, as we talk about the intersection at Schofield Ave and X with the hump, what we want to do with future lighting of that corridor, I think it really comes down to also what is the long-term, look of that area as we head south. We did adopt the Camp Phillips corridor plan several years ago, which showed that corridor getting rebuilt, but I guess not really. Some of those projects didn't come to fruition that were initially talked about, that 2020, 2021 era. So I guess part of that too will be discussing with the Plan Commission moving forward if that's really what we're still envisioning for that corridor as well. So that's just kind of the,
Is that it?
that's it. I could keep talking for days if you want me to, but I'll be done.
Any other question for Michael? So you're gonna put some number together for us, maybe next meeting or so?
Yeah, I can send them along, and try to get an RFP out for bridge, or at least maybe an RFP for you guys to review, look over,
Okay,
and then
good.
start to,
And the lighting too.
and the lighting too. Yeah, that should be easy enough. I can mark up what we have, send it to WPS and just ask them.
Sure. Okay. There's no other question for Michael. That'd be item 15, next meeting. Monday, August 10th, 2026 at 4:30 PM. That's a regular meeting. Item B, Monday, September 14th, 2026 at 4:30 PM. Again, that's a regular meeting also. Item 16, topic for future meeting, water main replacement. When we gonna start? I think we should start working on that grant money sooner than later. That way probably we have a better chance,
Yeah, no, that's kind of a,
because I didn't think we have that many miles in there. You said about 10 miles in there? That's a lot of a mile in there that should be replaced. Even if we do 1 mile a year, that's a 10 years project.
Just on the old asbestos.
yeah,
So I think we should do more if we can get the grant. We do as much as possible, grant authorizes, or have money to do it.
yeah,
So
so,
we can decrease that time duration and.
Well, we're a little bit further behind now too, because wasn't part of that gonna be with the project we were gonna do with, it's now put on hold?
with Rothschild,
Yeah,
in Bellwood, no, that was actually a cast iron main.
well, that was cast iron. Okay.
Yeah, which, it still, we've had, probably 4 or 5 main breaks on Bellwood over the last 10 years, so. It may be flexible enough at this point with all the Band-Aids and patches that it's not gonna break again, but,
Okay,
but yeah, no, we'd still wanna replace those two where we have frequent breaks, cause,
so then we can add this water replacement to the list of the project. We just talked about it. There was
yes.
4 of them.
Yeah, so I mean, in general, I guess that's what I meant by the routine project. So as I, look at future years here, so Post Ave and Fergie Street, that include Delone. That's an AC main area. The following year, we have Radke Street and potentially some other areas we could look at. And then Pine Park Street is AC, Willow and Cherry is AC. Hughes, a lot of that area by the Everest Edition. I guess I kind of picture that whole neighborhood. Just once we start it, we either start at Volkman Street and head east and just march through that whole neighborhood, or start at Jelnik and head south. Just try to figure out how to best logistically move through there. So that neighborhood might not like us, but it's probably about a 3-year window of just getting that whole neighborhood redone.
Was Blado?
Bladle's an AC main as well, yeah. So, I mean, we are replacing AC water main every year. It's trying to,
So it'll be less than our 9 or 10 after this year.
yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, item 17, remark from the staff. Josh?
Nope, I got nothing. Nope.
I just wanted to share, it'll come up at the board meeting next week. The Public Works Committee approves anything that's unusual to our buildings, village-owned buildings. But Mountain Bay Police Department has moved all of the evidence storage that was in the public safety building to the two outbuildings. So we'll be sharing that with the board next week, that all of their evidence is now out of that building. They don't have keys to that facility anymore, won't be using that main building, but they still occupy the majority, all of the two outbuildings is their evidence storage at this point.
Okay. Michael?
I guess maybe on a similar note, the Mountain Bay Metro Police Department bid opening is this Thursday. It's, I guess, not necessarily a village project, but it kind of is a village project. So,
We pay most of the money in there.
yeah.
So
You're not managing the project.
you're not. That's what, 10:30 a.m.?
I believe so, yeah.
That was 10.
Or the 10. Okay, now my computer's just spinning on me. I can let you know.
I can look. Pretty sure it's 10. It's 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock this room. There is a virtual option too, if anyone wanted to join virtually.
Yeah, I'll be interested because I want to see what we got. All right. Remark from a committee member. No?
Nope.
No?
Good.
Good. I don't have any announcement. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it. Thank you very much for coming to the meeting.
You know.